This episode is made possible by New Masters Academy, the world's absolute #1 online art school in the entire world. Click link and upload for a free 7-day trial. Thank you, New Masters Academy. I am deep in the annals of your mind. I am deep in the annals of your... Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe After Hours podcast. We're your host. I'm Vincent, background designer for the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business, and whatever we feel like.
Now today we're going to talk about how creators are finding success after the pandemic.
Yes,
nice save, right? That's freaking save, right?
But before, totally on purpose. Before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons, and please and thank you.
Yep. I am impressed with myself. So, happy to see you. It's good to see you. Sorry we weren't here last week.
Yes.
We had a problem with our taxes.
Literally everything.
Yes.
Last week just did not... The creator of the universe did not want us to produce any videos. We were actually going to do a whole podcast talking about how last week was just a train wreck, but
then we don't want to just be like
downer.
Larry, downer, Larry David, old man yelling at the cloud. So today we're going to talk about culture stuff, I guess.
And you're going to have a great week.
You're going to have a great week.
Monday.
Happy April. You know, more than 25% through the year. Hope you're enjoying your life. So we have been enjoying our lives. We've been watching a lot of movies.
Yes.
Just a lot.
Yes.
A lot. And we've been noticing a lot of things that are working and things that aren't working. And we're going to be talking about that today in this podcast.
Because what's upsetting to me in the past 2 years is we went from a period of pre-pandemic, just abundance, and that meant art and entertainment and culture was being consumed very a lot by normies, people who normally aren't into that stuff. So we were having a grand old time making lots of money selling our art at conventions and that kind of stuff. But then the pandemic happened and we noticed that people just did not care about art anymore. And it made me realize that, we were a little spoiled coming up with the era that we did doing art and selling art and creating content and that kind of stuff, because it had never been easier, I guess. There was like a demand for it, but then suddenly it was all dried up, and maybe that's normal. Now the pandemic is slowly coming to an end. We're still trying to recover from it in a lot of ways.
Slowly, very slowly.
Very, very slowly. But at the same time, has art, has culture, has entertainment recovered? And for a really long time, because we've been watching all these movies, I thought, no. I thought, how? I think this is the new normal going forward. That's what I said about, maybe Hollywood needs to get used to some of these lower numbers for a while. But like you said, we've been noticing some really interesting trends that we want to talk about, because it's really shocking how some creators, some movies are finding success after post-pandemic.
So what should we start with? Should we start with the things that are working or the things that aren't working?
Let's start with the things that aren't working, because it's fun to shit on movies.
Okay. So where should we start? So first of all, we discovered the magic of Redbox.
Yes.
I am addicted to Coke.
No,
I'm addicted to zero sugar Coke.
Yes.
Have you ever went to the grocery store and picked up a zero sugar Coke? You know, they used to be it used to be black, and you used to be like, zero sugar Coke. Yeah, but it's not Diet Coke. Yeah. It's different though. Diet Coke is gray. Mm-hmm. Coke Zero looks identical to the usual Coke, except usual Coke has the creamy white typeface.
Logo, yeah.
But then if you want the zero sugar Coke, you get the one with the black typeface. And I swear to God, dude, it's been so hard to quit Coke, man. It's been so hard. Every time, they're like, 2 for $4. Let's go. And it's just so. Have you tried it? Explain to the audiences Explain to our audiences what Coke Zero tastes like.
Yeah. So, Diet Coke. I have some friends who are like die-hard Diet Coke fans because they're into that like stevia taste, the whatever chemical that they made to make the artificial sweetener that they put in Diet Coke. I'm not a fan because it tastes like stevia. So when Coke came out with Coke Zero, I was also very, very, very skeptical.
I didn't even bother trying it. I was like, this is stupid. Why?
But I think
it's the same thing.
You tried it because you grew up with sugar. You inhaled it like it was water. Oh, yeah. Like orange juice, not even orange juice, tang basically, and like any kind of sweet thing. So in order to make my diet a little bit easier, I have to make it so you don't keep sweet things around, period. Otherwise, you'll be drinking it, I'll be drinking whatever. So you've been drinking sparkling water, and they didn't have sparkling water wherever we were at, I think. But you were like, this is 0 calorie, let's try this. So you try it and you're like, oh my god, there's no way this is 0 calorie.
And I kept looking at the logo. I was like, it says 0 calorie. It tastes so sweet.
Yeah.
And it tastes almost like the real thing.
It tastes like Coke.
It's insane.
It was just...
Don't buy it. But if you're curious, try it.
Yes.
But if you try it, it's going to be very hard to quit.
Yes. If you're trying to wean yourself off soda, I mean, I guess. At least you're drinking a 0 calorie thing. But you were already weaned off, technically. You're drinking sparkling water.
And then I just screwed myself. I just screwed myself because it was such a great decision to stop drinking vitamin water.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of weird sweetener they invented.
Yeah, but on the Zero Coke, it's insane. So then I go to the Albertsons all the time, fiending for 0 calorie Coke.
Yes.
And then there's the Red Box. Mm-hmm. And then we usually rent movies on Amazon, but then they've been like $6 lately. So, like, for example, we've been waiting on Candyman to be at least like $3, $4, but it's been $6 this whole time. So we're like, geez. So then we go to the Albertsons because I'm fiending for Coke, and then I see Redbox. Like, hey, let's try the Redbox. So we try watching movies on Redbox. It's like $2 a pop, and then you go and I pop it in my Xbox, have a great time. Go back, get some Coke. Whoa! Put that in my mouth. Yes, and then like watch Suicide Squad. Yeah, you know,
watch all the movies. It has like. The Last Duel, Suicide Squad, a lot of like new-ish movies like Free Guy, even Sing
$2.
Yeah, Sing 2 is coming on Redbox and
Kingsman.
Yeah, all like you wait like 3 months and you'll probably be able to watch whatever movie that you don't want to pay top dollar for in the theaters at home for $2. It's pretty great.
But I'll probably Redbox Ambulance.
Yes.
$2 maybe. $2.
Sadly, I don't think they're doing very well because everyone's just streaming.
I know, which is sad. Like, I think we just discovered like the best thing ever as it's dying.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna enjoy it while I can.
Yeah.
So we've watched a lot of movies. Where do you want to start? You want to start?
Let's start with Venom.
Oh God! Jesus Christ!
Yes.
So we talked about, we were like basically like just, you know, kissing Sony's ass for how great of a job they did with Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be so good. But we haven't seen Venom.
Yeah.
If I had seen Venom before Spider-Man, I would have known for sure that Spider-Man's a fluke, dude. That was like a fluke. That was a total fluke. Because look at Venom. Like, I guess people watched it.
Yeah, it made a lot of money because it was like the only thing to watch for a while. Yeah.
For a while. But then like Morbius.
Yes.
Morbius didn't do so good. No. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are saying it's the worst Marvel movie in a long time.
I can't imagine how it could be worse than Venom.
So I'm eating my words here. Like I don't know about Sony. I don't know. And then like what Paramount's doing this weekend, I'm just like, I'm very curious. I think Sonic is Paramount, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm excited to see those numbers. But so if we're starting with Venom, what was the problem with Venom?
it just there's so many problems with Venom. All the budget went into the action fight scenes, like in anime. Which is why I guess it's halfway decent. I mean, you get what you want from a comic book movie, but the acting was not so great. The directing was not so great. It felt very, very, very cheap.
And we liked the first one.
Yeah.
The villain was just like Carnage was so cool in the comics. This is like a very soft core version of that crazy character.
Yeah, it felt like a cheap Marvel movie, you know? Like, it felt like it's something we've seen a thousand times before. And I'm like thinking back on, I don't know, like the first Captain America movie. Like, it wasn't like those were great movies either in terms of like all the things I just said, acting, budget, all the action scenes, all the things. And I just think we've seen this done 10,000 times before, and slightly better, slightly worse, whatever. And I just felt like it was boring. It was so boring, and it was just so like quippy just to be quippy, and I could not relate to it anymore. You know, what did you have? What problems did you have with it?
I didn't like the treatment of the Carnage character, and what I thought he was like a murderous, like crazy angry character, but then they made him this strange sympathetic villain character, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I just feel like, you know, like any good superhero movie needs to have a strong villain. The villain wasn't very strong.
Yes, a superhero movie lives and dies on its villain.
So I just was like, I don't want to watch superhero movies, man.
Yeah.
like after watching Batman, going like, oh, that was kind of fresh, I guess, and then watching Venom, I was just like, Jesus, like I think I don't want to watch superhero movies for a while, man. Like I don't think, like I don't know how people in the world feel, but I don't think Doctor Strange is going to be good.
Yes.
I have a feeling that that's not going to be good. And if Doctor Strange is not good, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like all the movies that I've liked so far this year are not the superhero movies.
Yes.
And I think that's a sign, don't you think?
I think it's a sign. I think, Batman was very reviewed, not so well. And, it was mixed, the reviews of Batman. And I feel like, for whatever reason, comic book movies haven't been very good or very hyped for at least the last 2 years. Ever since like the arcs of everything started to end, like Spider-Man ended, and then Endgame with all that stuff ended. Like everything's coming to an end, and everything after that was just like, I don't know, I don't care, or not very good. And if I feel this way and you feel this way, it feels like we're all burnt out from comic book movies in a way. We also watched Suicide Squad, which comparatively to all the movies we were watching at the time,
dude, Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad was so good.
Yeah.
I watched it for $2 and I was like, oh my god, this is really good. I'm not sure if it's because I watched it for super cheap, but I don't know. I mean, like it was really good. Yeah. I thought it was really fun. It did the whole like Guardians of the Galaxy ragtag group thing much better than, I don't know, than he did in at least the second. I didn't really like the second Guardians that much.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
But this one was like hilarious with the violence and the grossness and the gack and all that stuff. It's sick.
The parts I actually liked the least were the Harley Quinn parts.
Yeah, I wish there was less Harley Quinn. Idris Elba was awesome in that movie. So he was basically Will Smith's character.
Yes.
But then just a different comic book character. But then he was such a strong... Now that is someone who can carry a movie, man.
Yes.
Jeez, Will Smith, man.
I think we watched it after Venom too, so maybe...
The contrast.
Yeah.
but like Suicide Squad's 10 million times better than Eternals. For example.
Yes, I had more fun.
10 million times better.
Which, on the subject of Suicide Squad, James Gunn, I thought it was hilarious that he kept making offensive children jokes in this movie because he got canceled for other children jokes on Twitter.
So he was being very cheeky.
Yes.
He's being very, very cheeky.
He's like, oh, so like, he would say things, characters in the movie would say things like, oh, think of the children. Don't you care about the children?
Meanwhile, they're like killing each other with whatever, aliens and stuff.
And I thought, like, clearly, like, cancellations don't mean anything in Hollywood. And I just thought, like, the balls on this guy to just write into a script and make actors make these jokes, and in a way making fun of himself in the situation, and to just kind of be like, fuck you, Disney. you canceled me. I'm not gonna make Guardians 2. Okay, fine, I'm gonna make Suicide Squad just to say fuck you.
You mean Guardians 3?
Oh, there's a third one?
I think he got canceled after Guardians 2 in
order
order
that's
for...
what it was.
Yeah, he couldn't make Guardians 3. But I think Disney's like crawling back to him going, please make Guardians 3. Please, please, please. Suicide Squad is so good. You also watched Slither recently.
Yes.
Actually, a couple weeks ago, yeah.
We kind of went on a James Gunn thing, I guess. Technically, we watched Suicide Squad, and then we were like, oh, let's watch Slither. And I really liked Slither, and it goes to show you James Gunn has always been like this. Just making very, very offensive jokes, off-color jokes. And I was amazed to see where the I am Groot came from. Because, like, he does it in that movie, where people go like, meat.
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 Darla.
Meat.
We love you.
Meat.
And I was like, wow. So, like, the I am Groot thing and the thing that they made that shark guy in Suicide Squad do, like, friend. Friend. Existed with James Gunn since like the beginning of time.
I'm sure Groot has always said I'm Groot, but the way he says I'm Groot.
Yeah, is very like meat. It's just dumb. Really, like a meathead is saying these words like in a stupid way. Stupid but lovable way.
Oh, Vin Diesel, oh my god. Sad because that movie is very fun. I thought, what did I think was the funnest movie I saw that of the time? I think it was like Last Night in Soho. Oh my god, Suicide Squad is so much more fun.
Yes.
That's so horrible to say, but like Suicide Squad was so fun.
But sadly,
it didn't make money.
It didn't make money. It didn't do well. People didn't watch it.
Almost 30 million? No, 25 million.
Yeah. Opening box office, which is abysmal. And then, but like compared to like Venom, which made more money, it's like, man, wow, you should watch Suicide Squad over Venom, in terms of like the better movie. But it seems like here, these movies, I feel like people are not into comic book movies post pandemic. So that's not what's not working. And the other day, we went to the mall, and you know, the pandemic is technically, I would say it's over, but we're still recovering really hard from it with the supply chain shortages and labor shortages and stuff. I saw like a lot of stores I grew up with just close down because I guess they're not doing well anymore. One of them being the Disney store. I was like, wow. I thought the economy is supposed to be doing well. I thought Disney is supposed to be doing well or fine according to all the media articles of like, oh yeah, yes, we've been closed down. Like Disneyland has been closed down for like 2 years, and yes, no one has been going to our movies, but somehow we're doing fine. And then I see the Disney store closed down. I thought growing up that store was going to be there forever. And I didn't understand it, even back then.
When you told me, I was like, are you sure? No way.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
What? The sparkly red floors and that curved Disney sign that's in front of every single Disney store is gone. It was down. it closed its doors. And I, like, growing up, I would wander in there and not buy anything because it's all overly expensive Disney branded stuff that I could not afford. Nor did I want to. I was not a Disney head compared to a lot of other millennials. But it's just shocking to me that, like, I don't know, that screams to me that no one's buying Disney toys and merchandise enough where an entire store in this area, I can't think of another Disney store in this area. You'd have to drive all the way to Glendale. Like,
I'm really curious if that one's still there.
40 minutes away, just to even more if you're like you live further out.
Oh, man. Your mall was built when you were in high school. Like, I went to the Glendale Mall for as long as I remember, and for as long as I remember, I got Buzz Lightyear toy there, Woody toy at that Disney store, and if that closed down in Glendale, oh my lord,
that's crazy.
We're in a new era or something, man.
Yeah. And then, of course, we talk a little bit about the Will Smith thing.
We just talked about how Idris Elba is such a better actor
than
Will Smith.
Yes. So much better. But, like, yes.
Oh, yeah, John Cena. So good. I'm sorry. He was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. The
Peacemaker dude.
Oh, my God. He was hilariously awful.
Okay, sorry. Will Smith, he fucking sucks, man.
Yes.
I remember, like, my friend showed me, like, texted me, like, I think what movie were we watching? We were leaving a movie, and then I showed my friend texted me, and then I told you you have to stop the car.
Yes.
What movie was that?
It might have been X.
Oh no!
Or Lost City.
Lost City.
Yeah.
Either one of those. And then I tell you need to stop the car. I need to look at this. And then what do you see?
I see a video of Chris Rock doing the Oscars thing, and I was like, I don't care. And you're like, no, you need to keep watching.
Yeah.
And then he's like making lame jokes because that's the only kind of jokes you can make these days. And I just like, okay, yeah. And then he like makes a joke about Jada being G.I. Jane, which completely flies over my head. I was not really even listening. And then Jada like rolls her eyes, and then Will Smith laughs, haha, I'm getting roasted like I always do in every single
everybody does.
Oscars since the beginning of time.
The humanity.
And I was like, yes. And then like Will Smith gets up and gets really mad, and then fucking I thought he like punched him. I thought Will Smith punched Chris Rock at first.
He straight up bitch slapped him, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Who does that?
And then like walks back to his seat like he did something, and then in a weird half smile, half I don't know what way, he's like, get my name or my wife's name out of your mouth. And then I was just like, oh my god. I was like, that happened. That's not okay. I can't believe that happened on live TV.
I can't believe that happened on live TV too. And then we just drove home, and that's all. We were just like, I was just stunned. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this behavior at the Oscars. Like, what is going on here?
You were more appalled than I was.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, okay. I like the movies, man. I used to watch this shit. I used to be like one of those, like, oh, like, well, let's predict what's gonna win at the Oscars types of people. Like, this is like some weird celebration where cabal of very wealthy semi-talented people come together and schmooze and whatever. Like, I understand that, but like, this has been going on since like the 30s, the 40s. This never has there, like, the only biggest other like public live no thing that's ever happened that I remember is when Adrian Brody like straight up kissed Halle Berry out of nowhere, and then people were like, oh, how dare he, and all that stuff. But this is like insane. Like, you fucking just slap, like what the fuck? If I went to a bar and fucking bitch slapped somebody, I'm going to jail. It's not fair. How come Will gets the fucking like bitch slap Chris Rock, who's also a very, very like 10 times more talented person than Will Smith? How?
Yes.
And then he just gets away with it. It's like, how? I'm just like, you think we're exaggerating when we say these people fucking suck. They fucking suck, dude.
My reaction was less surprised because I know how awful these people are behind the scenes. And I am just glad that they're showing it to you now on live TV. And everyone is starting to realize that these people that you idolize, they might be good at acting, they whatever, but like they're awful, awful, awful human beings behind the scenes. I'm glad that like people outside of Hollywood are starting to understand this. The fact that this is news for as long as it has been news is kind of amazing to me, though. Like clearly people still are like romanticize Hollywood in a certain to think that this is shocking, and I think the reason why the Academy went so hard against him and like banned him basically, and
that's the news so far from Friday. It's like Saturday now.
Yeah, like retroactively, trying to cover up them enabling
we
Will
did
Smith's
something
behavior. I think it's because what Will Smith did ruined the illusion of what Hollywood is to a lot of people. And I think they can't have that. I think they can't have that more than anything. Appearances are everything for Hollywood, especially. And I think that's why they And
I think that's also why they won't take away his Oscar too, for appearances.
Yes. But the only reason why I want to talk about this, because I could not care less about all of that, because I was like, tell me something I don't know.
I was appalled by the audacity of doing, and the ego of doing something like that on live TV in what everybody is supposed to pretend like is a very grand annual celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody knows it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes. At this point. Oh, I also want to say that all the people who think it was like faked, like no.
You think these people are that smart?
No,
dude?
they're not.
Come on.
They're not that smart.
Like, if you are one of the people who thought that this was fake, or it's possible that this is fake, you think too highly of Hollywood.
Yes.
You think way too highly of this town.
You thought Star Wars had a plan.
You thought, you're one of those types of people.
You thought they were in good hands. No, they're not that smart, and also they wouldn't be trying to cover it up if they wanted it to be known, if they wanted to drum up publicity for that. And yeah, the only reason why I cared is because I was really fascinated by Jim Carrey's take on it. He
and some of the sane people apparently like Kimi.
Zoe Kravitz?
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz. Yeah. She was like tweeting what the fuck, basically.
And then got canceled for that for whatever reason.
Yeah, but like, stupid. It's so stupid.
I think what Jim Carrey basically said was it was absolutely not okay to do that. He really like went hard, and then he was like, he has a feeling that they're not the cool kids anymore.
Meaning like all of Hollywood.
Yes.
The Hollywood cabal.
And I thought that was really insightful, because it takes a lot of what's the word? Reflection, knowing yourself, and humility, yeah. Yes. To admit to yourself when you are like a multi-million-dollar actor, very celebrated, that maybe you're not cool anymore and people don't like you anymore, and there might be like larger things at play here.
You still gotta work. You can make movies, but it's not like you're gonna be DiCaprio in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's right. Like what have we been saying? That like Hollywood is dying, that nobody goes to the movie theaters anymore, and like what is doing well, usually like social media, TikTok, YouTube. Even streaming isn't like that great right now. And I thought like that's so telling that what Will Smith just did could not have happened during the height of Hollywood. When they're being celebrated, like people keep making fun of him that like he's getting cucked and all that stuff, but it's not just that. Before you had like paparazzi and all this stuff, and you had to deal with gossip mags and all that stuff, but like it's not 24/7 in your ear on your phones, you know? I'm sure Will Smith, how often he's on social media because he has his YouTube, like he said, it's his bread and butter right now, and he probably is looking at everything everyone's saying about him at all times. And imagine just getting bombarded with like people calling you a cuck and people like shitting on you constantly. I could see how he was kind of brought to a position where he snapped and felt like he needed to prove his manhood and he needed to like do something about, like, you know, I don't think people back in the day when you got roasted in at the Oscars, you just shrug it off. It's like one roast in your year, let's say, and you probably don't even pay attention to the gossip magazines or whatever. But then now everyone, Hollywood, these people who think so high and mighty of themselves are getting roasted constantly online, everywhere. You say one wrong word on Twitter and you're like the butt of the joke or something on one side or the other. I have been listening to Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche. If you want to listen to philosophy books, podcasts, all sorts of things, head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast to get a free audiobook. I highly recommend this book if you're really into existential crises and dealing with philosophy. Head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast.
Expand your mind. How many? What is in the majority or the minority the amount of professional actors that can like take a joke without letting it haunt them at night? It's before they go to sleep.
I think maybe like 20% can.
You think 80% of people are just like super frustrated and they play that moment over and over and over again?
Yes.
They seethe.
Yes. Because I think they're human. Like, clearly, our April Fool's video resonated with some people. And clearly, people dislike me because I point out their hypocrisy and the truth of, like people like to shoot the messenger. And people don't like being made fun of. People don't like everything being shown to the world. And I think celebrities, if anything, they're worse because they are actors. They have to keep up appearances. And I think any bad thing, that's the Barbra Streisand effect, is called the Barbra Streisand effect because they cannot deal with people talking about them and spreading weird rumors about them. Like, to the point where they need to, like, cover it up. And that we have a thing named after that effect.
Out of a musician / actress.
Yes.
Like a Hollywood artiste.
Yeah. So I think there's something about traditional media and Hollywood that is not working. Everything that we had been doing pre-pandemic that had been working so well. It was like the Bible. Just put out a paint-by-numbers comic book movie. Do the Hollywood thing. Disney is doing great. They're a giant.
We need to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
But darker.
It doesn't seem like it's working very well post-pandemic. But what is working well? So we watched some really, really cool movies recently.
Yeah.
Namely, I really liked X.
X was so dope.
It is a horror movie about a bunch of people went to the boonies to make an indie porno. And then bad things happen. And it's just referencing like so many movies.
Off the top of your head, what does it reference?
It references Boogie Nights. It references Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You were saying it was referencing these other movies.
Has some Cassavetes in there. Yeah.
Yes.
Has some Cassavetes in there.
Surprisingly.
That's pretty. When I was shocked by that, I was like, wow, that's really artsy.
And you said it was also referencing like Last House on the Left.
Oh. No, that was
a different
Virgin
movie?
Spring.
Oh, okay.
We were watching some Bergman stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like fantastic horror movie that is also quite comedic, and does not take itself very seriously, like Boogie Nights, and I just really enjoyed it, and the crowd we were watching it with really enjoyed it too.
Oh, we were all going like, ew, gross,
or laughing. Yeah,
you were laughing so hard. There's a certain if you watch X, there's a certain shower scene, right? And when you watch X, it happens like halfway through the movie. There's a shower scene, and then like people are laughing, I laugh, but then like, you know, the shower scene's like what, 30 seconds?
It's really long.
Like I laugh for like 5 seconds, but then like for most of it, you hear someone going. It's Janet. Janet's in the corner over there going. You thought that was hilarious. You thought what happened to the person who was taking a shower was hilarious. So hilarious that you were the last person laughing in the theater.
I have a really dark sense of humor, and I find when bad things happen to bad people and they get what they deserve.
He wasn't a bad person.
When people get what they deserve, and when it's drawn out, it's really hilarious to me. Because I was like, I cannot. This is such a long scene. This director purposefully made it this long just for people like me, because I'm sure he was laughing too. Like, I was just like, if you wanted to make him cry and be sad about something that happened, it didn't need to be that long, you know. It had like 5-10 different shots of him crying in the shower, and I was just like, okay, come on, now you're trying to make me laugh. You're trying to like say something. Yeah.
I really love the gore and the gag. It was disgusting. We watched something else that was really gory recently. Wait, no, that was the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. We were talking about how awesome the Scream stuff was.
Yes.
This is just like gross. It's just gross. This is all I have to say.
Yeah.
This is gross fun.
And then we also watched The Lost City.
Oh, The Lost City was so good. If you have a loved one, if you have a bunch of friends, go watch The Lost City.
It's a good date movie.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It is so good. And apparently directed by a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
A couple of nobodies. So the studio took a chance on a bunch of nobodies and made a comedy.
Yes.
With, you know, some well-known actors, but mostly like the strength of the cast and the script, and then that's it. Yeah. And some special effects.
Yes. I think it was really like a lot of our predictions are starting to come true now, and it's a little scary. I'm a little scared of myself. But like the fact that like this comedy is genuinely very, very funny. Comedy is starting to come back, and it did pretty well for a movie of its size with a no-name directors basically, and like yes, like what did we say like a few episodes ago about like if we were
keep it fun, keep it cheap, baby.
Yeah, keep it like we would do comedies and we would do horrors and we would do it cheaply. And you should probably take a chance on some no-name people because they're going to be cheaper, and I'm just sick and tired of like the same like 5 people who do movies. I'm just annoyed too that Hollywood, what do you got to lose at this point? You're losing money. Like instead of
hire Janet.
Yeah, hire.
That's basically her April Fool's video. There you go. Hire Janet.
Take a chance with people. It's really frustrating to me that like
what kind of magic could you make with $100,000?
People are so risk averse. I could make a pretty good short. A pretty good short. A pretty good pilot episode of a TV show. I used to say that jokingly, but I'm pretty sure people didn't take it as a joke, but it was jokingly. But I genuinely really believe in myself at this point. Yeah. So The Lost City is about a woman who is like a romance.
She's a romance novelist. And she's written so many of these things, and usually Channing Tatum's in the cover. Channing Tatum plays a cover model.
It's like Fabio.
Fabio, basically, for her books. And Sandra Bullock's at a point of her career where she's like tired of making schlock for her fans, and she almost like resents her fans.
Yes.
And she's basically going through some sort of creative writer, maybe personal crisis.
Existential crisis.
And then
because her husband recently passed.
Right. And through this adventure, she basically rediscovers herself, her purpose, and what she wants to do creatively.
Yes. And just lots of funny things happen. Channing Tatum being Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt being amazing.
So if you like 21 Jump Street, and you like Channing Tatum in 21 Jump Street, I mean, like, I love that movie. I thought it was very funny. If you don't think that movie was very funny, I'm like, do you have a soul? It's a fine movie. You can't really shit on Jump Street. It's pretty great. So if you like Channing Tatum's physical, goofy, meathead acting,
yes,
and like, let's not talk about Brad Pitt because he's just a surprise.
Yes, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe did well.
Yes, as the villain.
And Sandra Bullock is really very physical in her humor.
Yes. She really throws herself out there when she acts.
It's a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and the audience also seemed to really enjoy it too. Yeah,
I was like, for 25 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't know if this movie's very good. And then it really starts picking up, and then like everybody in the theater's just laughing, guffawing, and I haven't been in that kind of environment in a very long time. I can't even remember the last time I was in a theater where just like every 2 minutes, just like laughter. Yeah. And that's okay. I feel like people are like a little self-conscious at first.
To laugh?
Yeah. And then they suddenly realize, oh yeah, we're in a theater, we're with people, and we're here watching a comedy, let's laugh.
Yeah. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay to laugh
It's okay to laugh at jokes. It's okay.
No one's gonna cancel you. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine that you find it funny.
It's just jokes, dude. Yeah.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen.
Tell me about Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's an anime movie. It did almost not quite as well, I think, as Demon Slayer last year or 2 years ago, but it did very, very, very well. It's in the similar vein of Demon Slayer, like a shonen or young teen movie. But I heard it. We didn't watch it because we didn't watch the anime, and it's blasphemy to just go in.
I think we could because it's apparently a prequel. Yeah, so I was thinking like, oh, we could just like watch it, and then maybe like watching the original, watching episode 1 through 3, and then watching A New Hope.
I guess that's how you made me watch Star Wars, but I actually think I would have preferred like doing it the way it's supposed to be seen. You know,
the way it was released in history.
Yes,
I see.
Because prequels, you get the benefit of like, oh, it's that character, but they're young. But what did we say? Anime is gonna be huge, and there is.
No one else said it. We said it.
Nothing you can do about it. People are still sleeping on it, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy that like people would rather watch that over Sing 2.
So this weekend is Sonic the Hedgehog week, and I don't know. I think the first one was sort of like a small cult following of people. And you're telling me that, where did you hear this from on Twitter? That's projected to make
Hollywood Reporter.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So
even they know.
Yeah, it's projected to have, I think, anywhere between 50 to 70 million opening box office.
Whoa!
At least.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What was Batman though? That was like 120 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Like the fact that Sonic could come even close to a Batman movie is insane.
It's crazy.
And what if? I mean, I don't know. We don't know on Monday. Sonic is a big brand. People really like the first movie. I'd be shocked. Go right now and check what made more money, Sonic or Batman, on its opening weekend. Because if Sonic makes a lot of money, that's kind of insane. If Sonic makes almost like the money of just a royal comic book movie star like Batman, we're in a different world here. Yes. We're in a different fucking planet here. Because, like, you tell me in 2019, 2018 that Sonic almost fucking beat Batman in the box office, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. Yeah. No way.
Or even came close.
No way. Yeah. You're crazy.
And in the same headline, Michael Bay's Ambulance is dead on arrival.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Hey man, I want to watch FPV drone footage.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. See what I can do with my drone, yeah.
But I guess the whole world is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
At all.
No. So, we're gonna watch Sonic probably.
Yes. I'm watching it tomorrow. Yeah. Today we're going to watch Everything Everywhere.
Yes. But I noticed the similarity between all these movies. X, Jujutsu Kaisen, The Lost City, Sonic. They're not serious movies. They're comedic, and they're a good time, but not a good time like Ambulance. I'm sure is a good time in like action romp kind of way, but it's so serious. And I realized like, oh, what people want post-pandemic is to laugh. They want, because I was thinking about this. I have this other theory that post-pandemic we're gonna see a lot of existential crises movies, because it seems like I and a lot of creators on the internet, a lot of people in the world, the Great Resignation, everything, are having an existential crisis after the pandemic. And that goes, like, artists take what they know and they will create art with that. So it's only logical that a bunch of people are going to start making screenplays and writing about their existential crises, and then they're going to make movies about their existential crises in the coming few years. What I realized, looking at what's been successful, isn't necessarily that they're going to be existential crises movies that are going to do well. It's that people are trying to escape their existential crises by laughing at it and finding some kind of solution towards it. Like in The Lost City. It's like, well, if you're having an existential crisis, like Sandra Bullock is as the main character in this movie, and you want to relate to her, but you don't want to like wallow in your like, I'm going to die feelings.
What is life?
Yeah.
Very
what is Ingmar Bergman. Yeah, of all of this.
Yeah.
You don't want to wallow, but you want to relate to someone. But then you also want to be given a solution or laughter as a remedy. You want to escape somehow. So you don't necessarily want, like, a movie to tell you, like, in a lot of ways, I can see how Ambulance is, like, wallowing in your existential crises, in a way. Like, you're gonna die, everything is falling apart. And, like, you don't want that kind of stress.
We're gonna do one last job.
Yeah.
Make things right. And things will be finally better.
Yeah. Like, you don't necessarily want that, but you do want to just get away from your own thoughts for a little bit. And so I do think existential movies are going to exist. Serious ones, not serious ones. But I think the not serious ones are the ones that are going to be successful. Because clearly, for whatever reason, people don't want to watch an existential crisis movie that is probably in Ambulance. About LA, especially. Because everyone's, like, trying to escape the city.
Yeah.
They're not trying to romanticize it.
No.
It's interesting to me that that's what's working. And that we're so right about so much. These are just, like, it's not like we
is that your ego speaking?
No, yeah. I always understand that we have a bias. Everyone has a bias. And there's going to be a small part of my brain that goes, like, what if it's just my ego speaking? What if, like, I don't know what I'm talking about? Because I don't. I don't know what I'm talking about. These are just my thoughts and feelings as an artist, a creative, and
your observations.
My observations of the world. And it's how, it's my honest thoughts about how I would handle things if given the chance. Like if Hollywood were to ask me what kind of movies do you want to watch, I'd be like horror movies and comedies. And like
X and Last City.
Yeah.
X and the Lost City. That's it.
Yeah.
You make that for like 8 years, 10 years. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. So like these are just like my honest opinions, and clearly it seems like a lot of people agree. In terms of like the box office numbers and
Scream did really well.
Yeah.
You know, X was fun, and Lost City did really well too.
Going forward, knowing this, I genuinely feel like this is how artists and creatives, creators, filmmakers, Hollywood is trying to move forward past the pandemic. Like, yes, you get that we've been like, and this awful thing has happened to us for like the past 2 years. Now we're trying to move forward. We're trying to make people care about our art. We're trying to make people go watch movies again. We're trying to get you to like watch our YouTube channel. What is it that people resonate with? For whatever reason, our April Fool's video, for whatever reason, X and the Lost City, and what they're not resonating with is like the serious stuff. They're not resonating with the comic book stuff. And I thought that I think that's really telling, and it's really helpful to know, like the kind of content that I want to produce, like in the next year and going forward. Like I'm starting to really enjoy this like comedic, tragic view on the comedic lens on our tragic lives. I think is the theme. The theme, like if this is the year of my existential crises, the solution to it is
to
just
laugh
to
at
laugh
it.
at it.
Ah, I see. Very good solution.
Yes. So what are we recommending this week?
We are recommending both those movies. If you are squeamish at all, well, I guess you should probably skip X. But if you are into horror movies, even remotely, even as a fun like roller coaster like experience, go watch X in theaters. Do it now. Get up off your butt and go watch it. And then immediately after, I hope you have like AMC stubs or something. Your like birthday money. I don't know. And immediately after, watch The Lost City. It'll be a fun double feature because by the end of X, it kind of becomes a comedy anyway. So you'll be going into a comedy, into a comedy, and into a comedy and comedy. And you'll be really happy, and you're going to thank us, and you'll leave a comment about how great of an idea to watch both of those movies back to back was.
It was such a great. It was the most fun time I had at the theater in a long time.
Truly, both those movies?
Yeah. I did not have that much fun watching Batman. Or Spider-Man, actually. I had I've actually been very disappointed in movies. Up until, like, last week. I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm excited for content to come.
Yes.
If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons. Check out these episodes next to binge all our other episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.